Panther people, what up? What's going on? You're watching Panthers Post with Phil Perkins. Thanks for joining. Make sure if you're new here to pound and keep pounding that subscribe button. Make sure to like. Also enter yourself into the comment community. Before I get started, happy Thanksgiving to all you who are watching from the below the 49th parallel. My American viewers, there's around 85 to 90% of you, unsurprisingly, are from the U.S., from all over, from coast to coast to coast. I appreciate you guys. Without you, might still be doing this. I'm doing this because I love it. But the fact that I get to talk to you guys before, after games, it truly is a blessing. It's so much fun. I've met so many nice people in the YouTube community here, not only just viewers, but also creators as well. I'm also working on something for next week's bye week. That's going to be a lot of fun. Stay tuned for that. But also in the comment community, let me know. What are you eating this weekend? Are you a white meat, dark meat person? Is ham absolute trash? You making some brisket on the side, going unconventional? Are you a mac and cheese person or not? According to the New England Patriots, nobody likes mac and cheese. Do you like pie? Are you a cake person? If you are pie, pumpkin pie, apple pie, if you like the latter, do you put cheddar cheese on it or y'all call it American cheese? Do you call it stuffing or dressing? Is it trash? Christian McCaffrey thinks so. Let me know in the comment community below. What are you eating? And also, for the adults out there, what you drinking? Carolina Panthers, who are 5-6, taking on the 4-7 Miami Dolphins in South Beach. And the Panthers, losers again at home. They have a losing record at the bank. It is not a fortress right now. There are robbers going in and out of the bank right now, taking whatever the heck they want. And they're taking on a Miami Dolphins team who are struggling, arguably one of the most disappointing teams in the NFL. And they are 4-7 right now after being winners of 3 straight, including one against Baltimore, where they shocked everybody. And that was an absolutely wild game. And as Dante Jackson said weeks back, the Panthers cannot take anyone lightly. In my opinion, spoiler alert, I think the Panthers are going to win, and there's going to be an X factor to this. No surprise, their jerseys somewhere in this room right now. But let's preview this game real quick. But first, let's see what the players had to say about what they got to do to get ready for this game. Starting with Christian McCaffrey, who's really starting to sound like one of the leaders on this team. And he seems like he's kind of sick of some people's attitudes.
Can't even mention the bye. This has got to be a day-to-day, meeting-to-meeting, practice-to-practice type of football team that, you know, can't look to the future, can't look at the past. Just every day, you know, grind away, chop wood all the time, and do whatever you can this week to win, to go 1-0 this week. I think that's really the message that you know, a lot of us are trying to instill.
Christian McCaffrey saying he's trying to instill that consistency and that work hard attitude. Remember, he grew up as a rookie with the likes of Thomas Davis, Luke Kuechly, Greg Olsen, Ryan Khalil, guys like that on the squad, veterans, Grizzly veterans who taught him the ropes from a very early age and very early time in his NFL career. And now he's trying to do that to some of the younger cats on the team. And just judging by his body language and the way he's talking, it seems like some players are a little resistant. That's where big Cameron Jarrell Newton comes in. He's the guy who's going to come in as the 10-year vet who's going to let players know, especially the young guys, this is how you practice, and that'll lead to how you play. On the defensive side, Brian Burns, who some people are showing a little bit of concern for, he's definitely losing that sack bet that he and Hassan Reddick had. Hassan Reddick already 10.5 sacks. He's leading the Pro Bowl votes for outside linebackers right now, as he should. But Brian Burns, who's rocking a look that I personally wish I could. I just know that someone will call the cops. The super crop top. He's already about short shorts, but he's rocking the super crop top, cropped off sleeves, and a hoodie. Take a look at what he's wearing, also what he has to say about Tua Tagovailoa.
Just the fact that I know he's mobile, he can run, and he is a bit of an escape artist. But as far as I think he really wants to throw the ball, to be honest, I don't really think he wants to run like that. But I know that he can. I know he's able to.
Full disclosure, I was in Nashville back in the day and watching Vanderbilt welcome in Jalen Hurts and the Alabama Crimson Tide, and they were just getting whooped left, right, and center. That is Vanderbilt, of course. I don't have to tell you that. And then they actually took Jalen Hurts out, and they brought a rookie by the name of Tua Tagovailoa. And the best part was, and this is what I knew, in the South, people freaking care about college football. I knew that in advance, but this way I saw it in person. They were absolutely flooded with Alabama fans, and they were all talking about Tua Tagovailoa, what he did in high school, and they already had the scouting report on. They were ready to go, and I saw that kid, and he did what he had to do, and he was a great player. He was actually a guy before or as they let Cam Newton go. Tua was a guy who I thought maybe he could be either nurtured by Cam, he could be a player for the future for the Carolina Panthers. As you've seen in the past, he had injury issues, especially in his last year in Alabama. And then when he got to the NFL, he had some issues as well. He actually wasn't even starting last couple weeks, but then Jacoby Brissett got hurt 2 a time. All right, back to the game in Miami. The Panthers taking on the Miami Dolphins again, 5-6. The Panthers, Miami Dolphins, winners of 3 straight. They are 4-7. I'm going to do it like this. I'm going to do by position and who has the edge, starting with quarterback. Cam Newton or Tua Tagovailoa. Tua, been in the system for 2 years now. He's banged up. He's hot. He's a hot hand right now. Going to Darren Gant and the Panthers website, he says, Tua Tagovailoa is already near the top in several Dolphins career passing charts. He is second in completion percentage, 65.7, third in passer rating, 88.8, and tied for fifth in 300-yard passing games. Of course, very early in his career, he's been largely unchallenged in terms of big games. They could have made the playoffs last year, didn't make it happen. He was kind of in and out last year with Ryan Fitzpatrick, in and out this year with Jacoby Brissett. So it's a limited sample package here. So obviously, I'm going to choose edge, Carolina Panthers, Cam Newton. All right, let's go to running back. Carolina Panthers have Christian McCaffrey, Amir Abdullah, and the Miami Dolphins have Myles Gaskin. They just picked up Phillip Lindsay. And in that case, I'm going to go again, Carolina Panthers. Christian McCaffrey is a complete mismatch nightmare in terms of their defense. Emmanuel Ogbah on the defensive line is one of their stars on that team, as well as Xavier Howard. But in terms of their linebacking core, Eldon Roberts, Jerome Baker, I think, who are those guys? I have no idea who they are. I'm not going to lie. I'm sure someone has a more detailed profile on who these players are, but I'm just saying, Christian McCaffrey, who is trying his absolute hardest, and he said this in the press conference yesterday, to try to get to that second level. He is trying to break every single arm tackle on that defensive line, find open space in the second level, and he's just going to eat against these linebackers and potentially safeties as well. Edge, Carolina Panthers. Wide receivers. Now, Jalen Waddle is turning out to be one of the number 1 wide receivers in this draft class, of this stacked wide receiver draft class. My God, these guys have been absolutely performing as rookies. Makes me feel kind of sad that Terrace Marshall Jr. just hasn't, whether it's a scheme thing, whether it's just a speed thing. But hey, he was on the same offense with Jamar Chase and Joe Brady, and it just seems like it's such a pity because he looks so great in the preseason, that Terrace Marshall, compared to the other rookies out there. And he was scouted that he could have been a first-round pick if it wasn't for his injury history, and he's been healthy, minus the concussion. It's just too bad he's not performing on the field. But in terms of their wide receivers, you got Albert Wilson, who's been performing, Jalen Waddle, Isaiah Ford, Preston Williams, Devontae Parker's on the IR, so forget him. And obviously the Carolina Panthers, they got DJ Moore, Robbie Anderson. You got to count Christian McCaffrey as well, and Terrace Marshall, and Shi Smith, who they kind of give the ball to sometimes, and also times he's a healthy scratch. I think this might be a tie, only because the Carolina Panthers wide receivers either haven't been given the opportunity to perform, because it's been Sam Darnold for majority of the season. Tight end class, this is going to be real exciting. So, you got Mike Gesicki, who's got some serious hands and serious hops. He's a much more leaner tight end compared to Tommy Tremble and Ian Thomas. Those guys are absolute maulers and beasts. I might take Tommy Tremble in a fight, but in this case, I'm going to have to take Mike Gesicki in terms of playmaking ability. Now we got to talk about the defense. I'm not going to go through every single position because I know people only watching on average, according to the analytics, crunching numbers, people watching only about 8 minutes of this gosh darn video. You saw pot roast. Someone got him mic'd up and he was fired the F up, yelling at the defense last week against Washington football team, saying that, the coaches can only do so much in terms of trying to stop the run. They can only scheme up as best they can. It's up to the players on the field with the pads, the helmets, and the cleats, all that jazz, to stop the run. He said they are hurting your manhood. Say, be a goddamn man. That's what he was saying. He's saying they're challenging you as a man, and they're winning. And so I feel like you got a guy like Pot Roast. Energy is going to translate into South Beach, and guys like Myles Gaskin and Phillip Lindsay, who can also catch a ball outside the backfield as well. They're going to have a tough time trying, I think, just from that alone. There's a little snippet there. Maybe I'm reading way too much into a mic'd up clip, but I feel like that energy is going to carry on to Week 12. But against a Miami Dolphins defense who have underachieved in the sense that last year they won 10 games, and people were definitely thinking that they were going to make a playoffs this year. They got a great head coach in Brian Flores, really smart expatriate type of guy, real smart front office as well. But their defensive line, guys like Emmanuel Ogbah could bully our offensive line depending on who's playing left tackle at this point. I think he could be an issue. Xavier Howard continues to get forced turnovers, interceptions, and Cam at this point hasn't turned the ball over in the air He hasn't fumbled the ball either, those gigantic hands. But when you get a guy like Xavier Howard, who, again, he had a rough start to the year. You know, it seemed like he didn't really want to play with the Miami Dolphins. But he is a vet. He is definitely not going to be fooled by whatever tricks that Joe Brady, college offensive coordinator, passing coordinator, would try to throw at him. So I definitely keep an eye on Xavier Howard. I think he could be an issue. I hope Dante Jackson steps up as well. Like, you know, he got lit up. He said he got lit up. He said last week he wasn't Action Jackson. He was just number 26. And hopefully he has a better outing that he did against Terry McLaurin, who actually lit him up. Terry McLaurin, just a beast, one of the best wide receivers in the league. But up against a guy like Jalen Waddle, who I think might be around his height. I'm checking out right now. He's 5'10", a.k.a. 5'9". Albert Wilson. How tall is that dude? Didn't strike me as a very tall cat. Yeah, 5'9". So you got a 5'9", 5'10", possibly two 5'9" receivers up against our number one cornerback right now, who's around 5'9", 5'10". So I think physically he might be able to stand up against those guys. And as we mentioned before, after the Washington football team, Stephon Gilmore said that he hopes to play more snaps. That quad injury, that quad's a big-ass muscle, man. You can't just put that thing out there and expect it to perform for an entire football game. So hopefully when he's put out there, you know, rotating with maybe C.J. Henderson, A.J. Bouye, and all those guys, hopefully we see more Stephon Gilmore, especially against a Miami Dolphins team that he is very well aware of as a New England Patriot. And so he would be an asset for this team. We saw how he played against his former team, the New England Patriots. Let's see how he does against a team that he studied relentlessly as an opposition player in the AFC East. Who's got the better defense? I'm going to say the Carolina Panthers in this game against Miami have the better defense, mainly because they were just so embarrassed and so disappointing in a game that they know was theirs to freaking win. It should have been a storybook ending with Cam Newton coming home. You lost to Taylor Heineke, who has been playing his freaking face off. Gotta give him love. But now you're going to be playing a guy who has the pedigree, who's won national championships, in Tua Tagovailoa. Hopefully they do not overlook him, even though he's not that tall. And, you know, I think they're going to be the more cohesive, more hungry crowd. The last thing you want is to have a cornered, angry animal, and that's going to be the Carolina Panthers. They also tend to play better on the road. I feel like the Panthers are going to win in South Beach. They're going to continue that winning record on the road alive. I think the Roy Riot people are going to be super loud, and I feel like the Panthers are going to win 26-24. 26-24. So we're going to have a reaction show Sunday afternoon right after the game. I appreciate you guys. Have a good Thanksgiving. Make sure, don't drink any fizzy stuff. It's going to take up so much room. Have fun. Sleep, digest. I'll see y'all on Sunday.